How do you feel about your first episode?
I feel amazing. I'm so excited because I got out of my shell a little bit and I got to show more of my personality. So I think the viewers are really gonna like that. Hey y'all, I'm Tina Younger, but I go by Tini. I'm 21 years old and I absolutely love to cook. I just graduated culinary school and I never thought my life would pop off like it did. I went from making dinners with my boyfriend on TikTok to writing a cookbook to competing on Next Level Chef. Making food from scratch is my love language. I like to follow my heart, putting my own spin on things, and letting my creative chaos do the talking. I'm definitely not graceful, and sometimes I get a little messy, but when my food hits that plate and you take that first bite, you'll know it's made with love. This is From Scratch with Tini. Today I'm gonna be making a fried chicken sandwich from scratch. It's my boyfriend Antoine's favorite thing to eat. It was one of the first things I made on TikTok and which blew me up. I got over 25 million views. I do love a fast food fried chicken sandwich when I'm on a hurry. They're good, gets the job done. Usually a fast food fried chicken sandwich, it comes with a sauce. As you can see, there's some sauce on there. Chicken and maybe a pickle. There's no pickle in this one. And you see, like, it's falling apart. We don't want that. We want love, we want crunch when you eat it. I love that buttermilk breading, like it just has to have that when you bite into it. What I'll be making from scratch today is the bun from scratch. The chicken, I'm gonna be frying the chicken myself. I'm gonna be making my own hot sauce, and with that hot sauce, I'm gonna use it 3 ways. I'm gonna use it in my coleslaw, my spicy aioli, and I'm gonna be using it in my wet batter. All right, this is gonna be the best fried chicken sandwich you've ever seen and best fried chicken sandwich I've ever tasted. All right, let's make some hot sauce. These are Fresno chilies. We are going for a mid-spice. I'm gonna de-seed them because the seeds are what makes it really, really spicy. I need gloves first because I'm really bad at touching my face, and then I'll be crying the whole video. Slice the top off, take a spoon. All right, just slice down the middle. And then I take my spoon and I just get all of that out. On culinary school, I just never wore gloves when I sliced peppers or touched peppers because I'm too cool, I don't need to use gloves. And then I just touched my whole face and the whole class, I just was red, runny nose. I had to be over a hot fire, so then that just made it worse. I didn't leave because I didn't want to admit to my chef that he was right, but I was wrong, so I was just crying the whole class. It was terrible, but I learned my lesson now, and that's why I wear gloves. This is a size that you really want it, just so it's easier for it to blend up together. I really just like mid-spicy, not too hot, and then just really garlicky. And that's what we're doing today. I just like to smash it, quick chop, just like that, because you're gonna be blending it up anyway. Before I put it in the food processor, I'm gonna be putting it in a pot with some apple cider vinegar and some water. I'm gonna let that reduce down, kind of get a little mushy. Then when I put it in the blender, it's just gonna blend up really nicely. I just like apple cider vinegar because I feel like it has more flavor than just a basic white vinegar. So I'm gonna let this kind of simmer down for a little bit, and then once it's a little bit soft to the touch, kind of a little mushy, kind of like when you're making mashed potatoes and you poke your potato with your fork. This part, you have to watch your eyes. I always get my eyes. The vinegar just shoots right back at you and blinds you. And now I'm just gonna blend this up until it's nice and smooth. You got you got your hot sauce. This is the exact consistency that I wanted, nice, smooth. You can see it looks like a hot sauce that you got from a bottle, but you made it. It's a tolerable spicy. Got in the back of my throat, hold on. Hold on. Look at that color, it's so pretty. My boyfriend, he's like a hot sauce fanatic. I mean, he puts it on my chicken Alfredo. He puts it on literally everything. So I'm gonna have him come and try this and tell me what he thinks. All right, so this is Antoine. This is my boyfriend. No one really knows his name because I keep saying my boyfriend, but this is Antoine. Wait.
Hey, how you doing?
All right, so I want you to taste this hot sauce for me.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
That's
good,
perfect.
that's right.
That belongs on the sandwich.
All right, I'm gonna go back to cooking. You can go back to chilling. Good job, Antoine. All right, can you lower the camera back down now that he's out of the view? This is a buttermilk marinade. I like using buttermilk because it has acid in it. Use about 2 cups of buttermilk. And then this is all up to you how much hot sauce you want to put in your buttermilk. So I think I'm gonna do like a 1/2 cup. I kind of go off the color of the marinade if it's like the nice red that I want. When the chicken sits in this marinade, it literally just gets all that flavor that you put in there. So I'm just going to season with some salt and pepper. I'm gonna add some pickle juice because that's like my secret ingredient. It just makes the chicken more juicier because it's kind of acting as like a little brine. Flavor, flavor, flavor. I'm all about flavor. One thing Gordon Ramsay did not say was I was lacking flavor. So there we go. I never measure my seasoning. I measure with my heart. And that's like the best part of cooking because you have no one to tell you what to do. All right, so I'm adding some garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder, paprika. I like my marinade to be like red. And then last is cayenne. Now I'm gonna give this a nice mix. That's the color I want. And I'm gonna add my chicken. I like to use chicken thighs because thighs are more juicier. And you can marinate it for 2 hours or to 24 hours, whatever time preference you have, but the longer the better because the more flavor just locks into the chicken. And you're just gonna make sure they're all covered and then let it sit for up to 2 hours or 24 hours. All right, it's bun time. We're making our own buns, and it might seem scary, but it's not scary. It's literally you're throwing stuff in a bowl, mixing it, buns, there we go. I'm using whole milk, just better, more richer. I'm gonna microwave this for about 45 seconds, makes it the perfect temperature. All right, so I have my milk fresh out the microwave. Let's see, oh, we don't wanna see that number. If your milk's too hot, then it's gonna kill the yeast, and I would have just absolutely murdered the yeast. Gonna let it cool down for a little bit because it's steaming. I'm gonna start by measuring out the flour now that I'm waiting for this milk to cool down. All right, I'm gonna add about 2 1/4 cups of flour. I'm gonna add some salt to this. Give it a nice mix. I'm gonna add some sugar. Now that my milk is not burning, I'm gonna add a teaspoon of yeast. Because I would have killed her. And then I'm gonna add a tablespoon of sugar to activate the yeast. Every teaspoon of yeast, I do about a tablespoon of sugar. All right, so we're gonna let this sit and let her be nice and foamy. My yeast is ready. I'm gonna put it into the bowl. I'm gonna add 2 eggs. All right, so now I'm gonna whisk it together and then just slowly mix and incorporate. Don't just like put it all in at once. Adding a little bit more and mix. And some more. So now when it gets to kind of like this, I just start going in with my hands and I just find it easier for me to mix it. Give it love, massage it, and then put it onto the surface. I used to not be good at making bread. That used to be one thing I was just so anti-bread maker. I've just sucked at it in culinary school. Because I just struggle with the accuracy of the measurements, because I don't like to measure, I like to just pour everything in there. So that was definitely the hardest part of making bread, but I know exactly what the dough should look like now. I know what it should feel like, so I'm there. I'm not anti-bread anymore. All right. She's ready. I'm gonna put it in a lightly greased bowl and then let it sit for about an hour or until it doubles in size. The dough, it has risen, it's proofed, it doubled in size. When it's proofed, you wanna punch out all the air in there, so I'm gonna give it a little punch. It's my favorite part. You just get to pop, pop, pop. All right. And then just flour your surface just a little bit. All right, and I'm gonna divide this into 6 pieces. They don't have to be perfectly even, it's okay. Fold it over. This works best for me. And then I do this motion with my hand. I go like that. I push my palm against it and then just make it into a nice little circle motion. And it makes like the perfect little bun on top. Like that. This is my favorite part too. This is very like therapeutic. You just get to make a nice round shape. All right, so now we have 6 buns. I'm gonna put some parchment paper down and then I'm gonna put the buns on the sheet tray and I'm gonna let them proof for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna hit it with some egg wash and then while they're baking in the oven, I'm gonna fry my chicken. For the dry dredge, I use flour and then I use all the seasonings that I use for the wet batter. Smoked paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, cayenne, and chili powder. And I'm just gonna give this a nice mix just to mix it all up. I like to see a little bit of red speckles in my flour to know it's seasoned. I have my chicken that's been marinating. It's gonna have all that nice flavor. So excited. Let it drip for a little bit. And then put it in the flour, coat it all. So it's nice and coated. The goal for this, when you bite into it, you hear a nice crunch. So that's the goal. The secret is to lay it on a wire rack and let it sit just for a little bit so all that flour kind of gets in all of those wedges, and that's what makes it like nice and crispy. I can just like smell all the flavor just off of the marinade. I like to get it nice and coated. So I'm gonna let that sit. And for my oil, I like it about 350 so it doesn't burn everything and it still cooks everything through. Ready? Okay. Ooh. Going in for the second one. You don't wanna overcrowd your pan because then it's just not gonna work. I let it go 6-7 minutes. It really just depends the thickness of the chicken that day. I also go off of color. If it's a nice golden brown, then I take it out. You hear it? It sounds sexy. Sexy sizzle. So like you can already see like that crackle. It's gonna make a nice crunch when you bite into it. If the oil temperature is too high, then it's gonna be a black outside and then raw inside. And if your temperature is too low, it's gonna be sitting in soggy oil and it's gonna be disgusting. You're just gonna bite into straight oil. And I don't think you want that. All right, it's almost done. It looks so pretty and beautiful. Let's hope it's cooked. And right when it hits, we're gonna hit it with some flaky salt just for that extra seasoning. There we go. Ah, that looks beautiful. And then if you are using a thermometer, go into the thickest part of the meat. All right, yeah, she's cooked. Let this rest, and then we're going to assemble our fried chicken sandwich. I got the buns. Now let's make some sandwiches. All right, so look how beautiful our buns are. They baked for 350 for 20 minutes, and I added an egg wash on top. That's where you get that nice golden brown. If you don't know what an egg wash is, it's just some egg whites and a little bit of water. Brush it on top, and it literally just makes it so beautiful. And you can hear it, little ASMR action, so pretty. Now let's make some sandwiches because I know you want some. I like to cut the bottom a little bit more because I always have an issue with my bottom bun just falling apart. Just like that, squish, 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 squish. And for my toppings today, I have a spicy coleslaw, which is just basic coleslaw with my homemade hot sauce in it. And then of course you have to have pickles. Sorry, didn't make those from scratch. And then I have a spicy mayo, which I just add my hot sauce into the mayonnaise. I'm gonna add the spicy mayo first because I like my sauce on the bottom and I like it on the top. How do you like yours?
Both sides.
Both sides? You're a smart man. What do you prefer? Do you like your coleslaw on the bottom or do you like chicken and then coleslaw?
I like the chicken, then the coleslaw.
Chicken and coleslaw.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do that. For the coleslaw, it's red cabbage, green cabbage, carrots, mayo, vinegar, sugar, and then of course my hot sauce. I'm not really a fan of coleslaw unless it's a spicy coleslaw. Kind of crunchy, not too soggy. I'm very particular with my coleslaw. You like pickles on?
Extra pickles.
Extra, I was about to say. Add in some pickles. And then finishing touch. Yes. Oh, that looks so good. What do you think?
Look perfect.
I need a close up on this real quick. Hold on, just look.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I can't get it.
A plus plus.
I got the A+. Who's going to town on that thing? This is so much better than a fast food one. Of course, it's made with love. The spicy aioli, it's to my spice. It's not too spicy. It's not flavorless. And then that chicken sandwich is juicy. This is hard to find a juicy chicken sandwich at a fast food restaurant. The bun, you see that? You see how big the ratio to chicken and bun is? Not falling apart. Worth it. I think it's the best chicken sandwich ever.
The best chicken sandwich ever.
You better not be lying.
Not getting better than this.
I think I can get better though.
She can.
This is literally me, you know, I make some mistakes, but I like to cook with love. I love cooking from scratch because it's worth it in the end. Thank you guys so much for watching my first episode. This was amazing. This was From Scratch with Tini. I'm Tini. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Bye.